Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As my hair is being weird. Hold up. No. Close enough. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had a hero's proof where we fought with Wamu, and JoJo looked like he was just being a fool or a coward, but he was being a genuine hero, and then that impressed Wamu, and he was going to kill JoJo, but then JoJo was like, hey, you know, I was able to hit your face, and don't you want to see what will happen if I train for a month with my Hamon? And Wamu was like, yeah, alright. So he put a wedding ring on JoJo's heart, and was like, alright, in 1 month we're going to fight at the Coliseum. And then I believe it was AC/DC who put a ring around his throat, and was like, hey, we're going to fight too in 1 month, which JoJo had not anticipated. And so, yeah, they need to go train their Hamon to get good, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much that. We might as well hop right into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go.
Oh, the water's suspended in midair!
JoJo, catch! Try to keep the water in the glass like that.
Easy. I can do that, no sweat.
Oh. That was Jonathan's training.
Here's what you did wrong. I release Hamon from the tip of one of my fingers. A single point. That method allows me to focus my energy, making it easy to control the water. I brought you to Venice to meet my mentor, but it's gonna be a grind.
Oh no! Grind and work are probably my two least favorite words in the English language.
Oh no. 31 days.
At least he can control his Hamon well enough to stand on water. That's a start.
A woman? Is that you, Coach?
She goes by the name of Lisa. Nobody knows her true name, her place of origin, where she studied, or how she mastered the art of Hamon.
Lisa.
JoJo's coach for as long
Like
as it
Misa.
takes, or at least for the next month.
Alright.
See? She's using the aura as a high bar!
Oh my gosh. Man, they're really getting creative with Hamon. Oh!
From this moment forward, you will be wearing that breathing correction apparatus until I say otherwise.
Breathing correction.
Not without proper rhythm, you can't. Learn to master your breath and you'll be running marathons while wearing it.
That makes sense.
So we're both on the same page. I did not accept the responsibility of training you just so that you can save your own skin. I am forging a squad of warriors capable of annihilating our enemies.
Oh.
Which?
I'm glad you're safe. And my grandson, too. I don't know if I've ever been happier.
Oh yeah, Smokey.
Hey!
He was a
you
thing.
mention one word about those stupid poison rings to Granny, I'll beat you senseless.
It would
Fucking
do no
JoJo.
good to tell her anything.
No sense wasting any more of my time. I hope you're ready for the Hell Climb Pillar!
Oh god.
Seriously? This hell pillar thing doesn't really look all that tall.
Well, from up here, it's really more deep than tall.
Oh.
Coach, wait! Please don't do this!
Oh, it's a climb down. Oh, I see. They have to climb back
What
up.
the hell is this? Oil! This pillar is covered in flowing oil!
It's
Okay.
24 meters.
JoJo! The longer you stay in that muck, the harder it is to climb out! Now focus! No!
Ugh.
I must stay focused on myself.
Yeah.
So, this idiotic pillar claimed the lives of a lot of trainees, is that right?
What is he doing?
Maybe they were all just too dim-witted to come up with a creative solution.
Nope. You are not allowed.
You wouldn't really leave me down here to rot just because I don't have enough power to climb out of here, would you? I mean, it's my first day! This is just some kind of test, right? To teach me humility? You'll pull me out
It's
later, right?
it's a test.
Huh?
Ugh.
What gives her the right to do this? The fact that she's so damn beautiful just makes me even more furious about this whole thing!
Fucking JoJo. Man, his temper is off the charts today.
28 hours later,
Jesus.
Caesar is at 15 meters, while JoJo is at 0 meters.
Good
The
lord.
rings will now dissolve in 28 days.
He's hanging by his fingertips! Caesar! Oh, wait a second. Is that how he's been climbing this entire time?
Yeah,
By
with his...
using just his fingertips like that?
It's what he said at the beginning. You can't use your palms.
Let's see how this works!
Alright. Up.
I did it! It's working! My Hamon is sticking to the pillar! All
Alright.
this time I had my hands flat. I
Yeah.
was trying to use them to support
It's a
my
start.
weight,
He's really...
when
He's
in fact,
trying.
it's the opposite that worked. I can't believe my luck. Things are finally
I wouldn't
starting
trust
to
it.
look up for me.
It's a trap.
No! What was that?
The Hell Climb pillar only accepts Hamon. It refuses anything else.
Yeah. It's a
Watch out!
trap.
Something's happening!
An impenetrable sheet of oil shoots out of the pillar at a deadly speed near
Jeez.
the 20-meter mark.
Nope.
That stream is so highly pressurized that it can cut like a razor. I'm not even sure if I can focus my Hamon enough to get through that oil in one piece.
Yeah.
There is one way up. I must stay focused to control the two opposing types of Hamon simultaneously.
Okay. It's kind of like grounding himself. Oh!
I did it.
He made
I
it.
hate to say it.
9 hours later.
Up. He made it.
He's done it! Caesar reaches the top after 61 hours!
61.
I can use the strength of my Hamon to get me out of this too!
Oh. He's trying.
He's using his Hamon to slide along the plane of the oil sheet.
The oil loses its speed the farther it shoots out. I have to
Okay.
launch from here!
So he's going to a weaker end. Oof.
He actually used the momentum of the oil to whip himself up and over the top of it. He didn't fall. In fact, it looks like he made it up a whole 3 meters.
Wow.
I've never seen anyone ascend the Hell Climb pillar like that before.
Yeah.
He did it by turning his weakness into a strength. That was quite clever.
Yeah. It's what he does.
I don't have anything left. I've just got 1 more meter to go. Damn it! I can't control my breathing any longer.
No.
Slipping. No!
Oh.
But I just couldn't let JoJo go down like that.
I suppose I understand, Caesar. Although I'm surprised
Yeah.
you have any strength left yourself.
Oh, I forgot.
I could really
Tuh.
use your other arm here. Don't let me go!
Yeah.
10 seconds later, and after saying, "Don't let me go," another 13 times, JoJo reaches the top!
13 times. That's funny.
That's interesting. I didn't think JoJo would be the type that would hold a grudge like that.
Yeah.
So which will it be, Coach? Huh? Oh, I'm doing it! I'm really doing it! I'm holding the water in the cup and it's upside down!
This is some Miyagi training right here.
And only through.
Forgive me, Coach! Please, I'll do whatever you say! You've got to give me more
credits.
training, I beg you, please! You'll see what I can do! I'll overcome anything!
Well, that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Didn't think you'd be able to hold a grudge for very long.
Oh, don't worry, Jojo.
Who the hell do you think you are sneaking up on me like that?
Who that? Whoa.
Whoa, who are these guys?
I would like for you to meet 2 of my finest servants. These men will be your new instructors. Say hello to Machina and Logs.
I
Hi.
can't even imagine how to do that.
Come closer, take a look, and I'll show you what's going on.
Assholes.
We'll inhale for 10 minutes, and then exhale for 10 minutes.
Oh,
The
jeez.
mask doesn't come off until then.
Really? Oh, you guys are insane!
7 days remain until the rings dissolve.
Oh, boy. Alright, that's the preview. Alright. Sorry about that full length. Okay. Alrighty. Whew. That was a good episode. Definitely a, throw you in at the deep end sort of training. But it worked, It definitely worked, and it was definitely sort of a backwards training too, because they set up at the beginning of this episode like, oh, you need to focus through your fingertips, not your entire hand. You need to focus through your fingertips, and focus your power. And now he has, and now he's figured that out, that the whole purpose of the Hell Climb Pillar is to learn that control. So that's pretty cool. We can go ahead and go over the notes here. I actually took down quite a few notes for this episode. And yeah, the first thing I wrote down was the palm/tip. Now this reminds me of in part 1 when we had part of Jonathan's training was, he has to fight, but he needs to keep like all the liquid in the glass, basically, because he has to have that sort of control. And Baron Zeppeli said, if one drop falls out of that glass, we're done, because you can't do this, So it is sort of, this seems to be a thing with Hamon, is that, it's sort of a throw you in at the deep end sort of training. That's generally what they do. And yeah, for Jonathan, it was that, keep all the, the liquid in as he fights Jack the fucking Ripper. Whereas, it is a bit different for Joseph, where it's like, just, you need to be able to focus more, focus, and, then your power will be, much better used, So I like that. We got our introduction to Lisa, which just that name just reminds me of Misa from Death Note, but whatever. But yeah, Lisa, our new Hamon coach. Now again, it's like, it does make me question, like, where did these people come from, Because it was, like, we had Tonpetty, and then we had Dyer and Straitzo and Baron Zeppeli. Baron Zeppeli died, Dyer died, and then after Master Tonpetty died, everything was left to Straitzo, and Jonathan died too. So it was really just Straitzo that, was in charge of, doing all the Hamon stuff. But I guess he had one or two other people with him, so yeah, it's like, it's just like a different, like, I guess it's just that it's a different sect, basically, and at least with Caesar, it's like, okay, well, he is descended from Baron Zeppeli, and, he took up the charge of destroying the mask and learning Hamon and everything, and he just happened to find Lisa. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, Lisa, definitely a deep end kind of trainer, which we also get with the breath mask, which was pretty interesting, that you specifically have to breathe properly in order for this mask to work, otherwise it will suffocate you. So, I mean, all that time, 3 days with that mask on, that alone should probably give Joseph enough, like it should sort of put it in his brain to breathe properly, So yeah, and especially, with how intensely the pillar climb is, it should, that should innately give him that proper breathing that he's been lacking so far. So yeah. Of course, then we see, at the end there, where we kind of basically skipped over 2 weeks. We got a little bit of a montage there at the end. So we're not seeing the full training, which is kind of unfortunate. Although we still have a week left, so maybe that'll cover next episode. But yeah, that's the thing, is that, he still has that mask on, through those 2 weeks at least. So he's definitely getting the proper breathing. So that was really cool. And then, yeah, I wrote down Hell Climb Pillar, which is a crazy name. And, just the fact that they're both thrown into it, And I like, too, because it kind of it kind of fools you. It's like, okay, well, they show, this pillar. And it's like, okay, well, that must be the Hell Climb Pillar. and then they go and they look down, and then she just pushes them down there. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I do like that. And it's like, because it's all like oil and you have to really, really, get up there. It's incredibly difficult. And, it only accepts, proper Hamon. So I like that. And again, because it's like, even Caesar hasn't, been able to, he hasn't attempted this yet. And even he's thrown in at the deep end in this episode, which is pretty cool. So I did like that. But a couple more notes on the Hellclimb pillar. The first, one of the things I wrote down is, it's a test, and I also wrote down JoJo's temper, which is, kind of, it is a thing that, JoJo does have a particular temper that's been set up since the first episode we've had him, so he's definitely had to work through it, the entire time he's like, how am I going to get my vengeance on that witch? And it's like, dude, just chill out, you just need to do this, and the fact that it took him days before he actually started to climb it, whereas Caesar was already like, a good number of meters up. JoJo was still at the bottom, so that's pretty crazy that it just took him so long because he was just that mad, but eventually he did sort of have to, I guess, swallow his pride and just, start the climb, and especially once he figured out how Caesar was doing it. I'm really failing at trying to clean these glasses. I guess that'll have to work. It's not great, but I hate that when I clean my glasses and they get worse. Oh, that's so infuriating. But yeah, finally he figures out, how to start climbing. He basically, it forces him to learn, just to use his fingertips to focus his Hamon power, which is, what was set up at the beginning with Caesar talking about, you need to focus your power or else, just shit will just explode basically, so I like that. And yeah, that's the thing, is that as stubborn and angry as he was, he did actually start to adapt. He did start to use his own thing, and especially, because he tried to do one of his tricks, He tried to do one of his tricks, just with the rope, and she just cut that shit. And it's like, no, fuck you, use your Hamon, basically. So I did like that. And then we had the other trap that JoJo sprung, which again, plays on... It plays on the fact that, he tried to take a rest. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You have to use Hamon the complete time, So yeah, that was pretty crazy that it started this huge, jet stream, basically, of oil that would just cut through anything. But we had two different ways to get through that. First was Caesar's way, where he basically grounded himself with Hamon in his feet, and then he used Hamon in his hands to power through the oil, basically. So that was really cool. I really like that. And I like that he distinguishes that, yeah, it's using two types of Hamon. Hamon in your hand and Hamon in your feet. And JoJo does not have that kind of skill yet. So that was pretty interesting. But then we also had how JoJo got through, which is, instead of doing that, he actually basically skated with his hands, skated along the oil, which shot him over to the other wall where, the oil was weaker and he could easily just get through. But then he still had to climb up that last meter, basically. So that was pretty clever. Again, it does show Joseph's ingenuity, which is very much his strongest point, is, how creative he can be, basically. And it does save him a number of times, but it also shows he needs to be creative in the proper way, because that is still using his Hamon to get through that. It's just a different way than what Caesar did, Whereas earlier in the episode, he thought he was being clever just using the rope, and it's like, no, you can't do that. So it's basically, JoJo working within the rules and being creative within the limits of the test, So I really did enjoy that. And at the end, we did have, Caesar helping JoJo to get up, basically, which was pretty interesting because honestly, it shows that Caesar cares, Oh God, excuse me. It does show that Caesar cares to a degree about JoJo, and they are starting to kind of become more friendly with each other. So I did like that he would actually go and help him to get up completely. So that was pretty good. If anything, that's, maybe that was part of the test is, the two of them helping each other, or at the very least, that could be part of their training is they need to work together in order to overcome some of these obstacles. So I did like that. We did have the grudge. JoJo still had that grudge going, which was pretty funny. But then, I like when, she just tosses the glass of water and he grabs it with his fingertips, and that's when he realizes, oh, this has helped me. Which, that's the thing, it's sort of, I kind of wrote this down, it's sort of a Mr. Miyagi training where it's like, like in The Karate Kid where it's like, all right, paint this fence, up and down, up, and then in combat, freaking Daniel-san can actually use those moves, But at the same time, this is straight up training, It is straight up deep end, training with, having them go up the pillar. But it did teach them a lot. They really have, grown throughout their 3 days going up the pillar. And especially Jonathan has now learned to focus his power, and he gets that now, which is pretty good. And he's abandoned this grudge, which is pretty cool. And then the last thing I wrote down was, okay, let me go get their names again. It was about right here.
To Machina and Logs.
Dang it.
I would like for you to meet two of my finest servants. These men will be your new instructors. Say hello to Machina and Logs.
Alright. Machina and Logs. I misspelled both of those, but that's alright. Machina and Logs are their new instructors. I'm sure that's some sort of band joke, and you guys can tell me in the comments. But yeah, so I was kind of thinking, all right, next episode we'll get how they're going to train him, but we then, at the end here, we're kind of skipping over 2 weeks basically, and it's like, oh, all right. I kind of want to see the entire training process, honestly. So yeah, but we still have 7 days left. So we'll have to see how much they do. So yeah. But that's pretty much all I wrote down. Really great episode. Really enjoyed it. And it was nice just to have, kind of a training episode, even if it is, again, deep end training. It was really nice to just have a training episode instead of, we gotta go and fight the big bad and all things might not be good, but they're okay in the end. It's like, we need a break, We really needed a break after Straizo. Well, honestly, after Dio to Straizo to San Viento to, Wamu and AC/DC and everyone. So we got a bit of a break. Even though this was a crazy episode, we did get a bit of a break in there with the training. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.